22 places that look unreal. Whether the work of nature or man, here's a few places in the world that just don't look like they could possibly be real. 22. The Namib Desert. Most pictures of the Namib Desert look like some sort of abstract painting, but the contrasting black trees against the orange hills were not the making of an artist. The Namib Desert can be found on the coast of South Africa, spanning over 1,200 miles or 2,000 kilometers. The name Namib does translate to mean vast place after all, and because of its size, many parts of the desert look very distinct from each other. This is the region known as Sossus Vlei, a salt and clay pan enclosed by large orange dunes. 21. Solna Metro Station. The Descent to Hell. Or at least, that's what this part of the Solna Centrum metro station looks like. Located in central Stockholm, Sweden, this metro station, attached to a shopping mall, look like scenes out of an art house movie. There's a portion that looks like an underworld cave, seen here, which actually leads riders to the Blue Line. Many call it the largest art gallery in the world, as over 90% of the 100 metro stations span to a 110-kilometer-long system. 20. Zhangye National Geopark. Maybe you had this as your screensaver once upon a time. It definitely looks like one of those photos, doesn't it? The mountains at the Zhangye National Geopark often get dubbed as the Rainbow Mountains of China. Located in Gansu, this park extends for 124 square miles or 322 square kilometers. The mineral deposits of sandstone have been occurring for over 24 million years, creating layers upon layers of different colored rock in that span of time. 19. Holland Tulip Fields. One of the most famous flower fields in the whole world can be found just south of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. The tulip fields of the Netherlands draws thousands of visitors every year in the spring. The flowers here only bloom for a small amount of time, so expect it to get crowded should you plan a trip to walk or bike through the flowery region. With rows and rows of vibrantly colored tulips, it might be difficult to believe, even in real life, that you're staring at something real. 18. Mount Roraima. At the highest point in the Roraima chain in South America stands Mount Roraima, part of the Tepui Plateaus. With an elevation of 9,220 feet, or 2,810 kilometers, this Tepui Plateau reaches past the clouds, giving it this nearly heavenly look, like a scene out of Greek mythology. The location of Mount Roraima seems to be an interesting one, as it can be found in the intersections of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. 17. Baori. This stepwell, located in the village of Apaneri, Rajasthan, was built somewhere between 800 CE to 900 CE during the reign of King Chanda. The Baori is known for the interesting triangular patterns of the steps on the way to the ancient well. It measures to be one of the largest stepwells in the area, sitting at about 100 feet or 30 meters into the ground. People may have come here to either pray, bathe, or meditate. Would you climb down 305,000 narrow steps from 13 stories up just to experience the water here? 16. Socotra. Found on the Arabian Sea as an archipelago of 4 islands, Socotra features one of the most amazing scenes of biodiversity in the world. Considered the largest island of the archipelago, the fauna and flora here appears to be wholly unique, of which includes a forest full of Socotra dragon trees, native only to this island. Not only do their shapes look alien or fantastical, when we mention they also seep red sap, it can be too strange to even comprehend. 15. Gullfoss. In Icelandic, Gullfoss means Golden Falls. Iceland holds Gullfoss as one of its most iconic landmarks in the country, and with good reason. This waterfall, located in a canyon in Southwest Iceland, stands at a height of 105 feet or 32 meters and cuts through the canyon with a flood of 140 cubic meters on average. At a certain distance away, you can't even see the falls. It just looks like the river suddenly disappears in the middle of the land. That's probably why people like Echo and the Bunnymen used it as one of their album covers. 14. Dancing House. Nope, you're not just looking at this at a weird angle. Well, it is kind of a weird angle, but this is a real building in Prague, Czech Republic. Named Fred and Ginger for the way the two parts of the building seem to intertwine, the Dancing House was completed in 1996 after 4 years of construction. It serves as the office for Nationale Nederlanden, an insurance and asset management company, amongst the largest in the Netherlands. 13. The Wave. Everybody who has an Instagram and travels to the Wave in Arizona takes a picture along its bends and curves. It's obligatory at this point. But can you really blame them? When do you ever get to hike through a place as cool as this? Eroded sandstone shaped the Wave into these curved troughs. It stands at an elevation of 5,225 feet or 1,593 meters. But since so many people want to catch a glimpse and some pics, management had to restrict the number of people who came in and how long they were able to visit. 12. Cave of Crystals. Miners trying to excavate a new tunnel for the Nga mine would be the ones who discovered the giant crystal cave, a surreal sight of huge pillars of crystal protruding from every direction out from the cavern walls. These gypsum crystals have been measured to be the largest ever discovered on Earth, with the biggest at a length of 39 feet or 12 meters and a diameter of 13 feet or 4 meters. 11. The Spittelau Waste Incineration Plant. At first glance, you wouldn't think a building like this would be used to burn waste, but indeed, that's what it does. The Spittelau Waste Incineration Plant, located in Vienna, has helped propel the city and Austria to have the best sustainable waste management in the world. Visitors can even visit this strangely made building. After a fire in the late 1980s, the whole outside had to be redesigned, which resulted in what you see now, created by Friedensreich Hunterwasser, an eco-architect. 10. Mount Grinnell. Very rarely do you find a whole mountain that looks like a perfect arrowhead. But here we are in the middle of Glacier National Park facing Mount Grinnell. Some days, the area surrounding the mountain peak looks so ethereal, it makes you forget that humans have actually taken over the world from nature. The peak was named after American anthropologist and writer George Bird Grinnell. 9. The Waldspirale. So colorful and weirdly shaped that at this point in the list, you just want to know where this place is and you're no longer wondering what you're seeing has been digitally altered. Okay. So maybe the filter makes it look a little more vibrant, but for the most part, this is exactly what the Waldspirale complex looks like. Located in Darmstadt, Germany, this residential building's name translates to mean spiral forest. It has 105 apartments, as well as cafes and bars. Architect Heinz M. Springmann was the mastermind behind this colorful fever dream, as well as those gilded onions placed on top. 8. Nga Guesthouse. Another fever dream building to add to the list. Many call this place the fairy tale house, or even straight up the crazy house. Designed by architect Dan Viet Nha, who also works as a painter, she wanted the outside to resemble that of a banyan tree. The Nga Guesthouse opened to the public in 1990 after initially just being a personal project. Inside includes 10 themed guest rooms with all the furniture handcrafted as well. Even all the hallways and each stairway has been given a fluid yet natural design in the shape of caves and tunnels. 7. Lake Retha. Near the capital city of Dakar, Senegal, you'll find a huge pink lake with a salt content that reaches about 40%. We're used to large bodies of water being clear, blue, and even brown. But pink lakes are a rarity in the world. Lake Retha, also known as Lac Rose, sits north along the peninsula of Senegal, home to lots of fish, with the salt of the lake used to preserve the fish caught by fishermen, funny enough. Humans can float easily in the water thanks to the high salt content. 6. Cliff House. Architecture specialists from Modscape Concept designed this house for people looking for a new and unique vacation home. Planned to sit against the oceanside cliffs of Victoria in the southwest of Australia, you can only get to it via carport at the very top of the floor. The rest of the house sits below, anchored to the rock by steel pins. Blueprint plans show that the house will be 5 stories and about 935 square feet of space. Living here will probably either quell or heighten your fear of heights. 5. The Stone Forest. These protruding rocks resemble cave stalagmites, yet sit right out in the open of the Yunnan province in China. The stone forest, also known as Shilin, have been likened to petrified trees, hence the name. A shallow sea once stood in its place over 270 million years ago, but over time, deposits of sandstone would shape the structures you see right now. The legend goes that a woman in love could not marry the one she wanted to, and then would run into the forest and turn to stone. 4. Ideal Palace. French postman Ferdinand Chanel dubbed his building his ideal palace. He spent over 3 decades of his life constructing this palace, with construction having started in 1879. Artists have visited the palace over the years to draw inspiration from Cheval's determination. Remember, this guy was a postman. He was set to be a baker's apprentice, but then found out he wanted to deliver mail. With his career change, he also realized he wanted to dedicate his life to this huge art project. 3. Richat Structure. Kind of looks like when you clear out the paint into the sink and watch all those colors flow down the drain. But all you see is rock. That's the Richat Structure, which may be more commonly referred to as the Eye of the Sahara. The center measures to a diameter of 19 miles or 30 kilometers, so you can't really see the splendor of the view unless you're way far up looking down at the Sahara Desert. 2. Son Doong. And now that we're back to nature, let's talk about the largest known cave passage cross-section in the whole world. Son Doong is located in Vietnam near Laos. Experts say this solutional cave is anywhere from 2 to 5 million years old. Discovered as late as 1991, you can apparently hear some whistling sound from the cave, as well as the rush of water from the river. One of the biggest attractions to the cave is that huge entrance at the mouth of the cavern, as well as the long descent down. Instead of looking like a regular scenic cave in some state or another, it looks like it came right out of a fairy tale, like somewhere you'd film a Lord of the Rings movie. 1. Salar de Uyuni. Several prehistoric lakes would transform over thousands of years and eventually form what is now called Salar de Uyuni, the largest salt flat in the whole world. Salar de Uyuni can be found in Bolivia and draws in tourists from every corner of the world who want to check out this giant natural mirror that reflects the sky above. It has become a popular place to take pictures, making you feel like you've stepped onto a land that cannot be found on Earth.